Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days, Season 8, Episode 8. Please remain seated. So yeah, we're gonna get on to it. Before we start, a couple things first. I hope everybody is staying safe during this big snowstorm. Where I'm at, we got big snowstorm. We're basically at a foot of snow right now. It's crazy, and I know it's been like that most of the country. So I hope everybody's staying safe from the snowstorm. Secondly, before we do this recap, you guys could tell I always wear New England Patriots gear. Well, the New England Patriots are my favorite NFL team, and we're going to the Super Bowl. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for Super Bowl Sunday. The day of Super Bowl Sunday, there will be no 90 Day Fiancé that day. They always don't air the new episode on Super Bowl Sunday, so that's good because I'm going to be pretty focused on February 8th in 2 weeks. So anyway, I just wanted to announce those. So the first couple in this episode I want to talk is freaking Laura and Bearcon. So remember what happened last week? I was really annoyed with Bearcon basically like pushing Laura up against the wall and everything, and then we left off with them arguing about Michael and everything. Now, in this episode, they talk about it, and Bearcon says, he feels that when it comes to another man, you really you can't really like basically trust another man because they really could have feelings for you and everything. So I like when it comes to Michael, I understand his frustration. I'm not Team Bearcon, but I do understand as a man where he's coming from in that moment. I'm not saying that he should make her get rid of Michael, but he is uncomfortable with their friendship because if they're spending so much time together and she's with him, he sees him as a threat basically. But in this episode, now we're meeting Bearcon's friends basically. Now they go to this like restaurant or this bar type place, and he just starts smoking and everything, and it was revealed that Laura realized that when he's there, he already has a seat, he knows everybody there and stuff and everything, and so they meet his friends, and they had a translator, and Laura asked, like, so what's Bearcon like and everything? And they said, he may seem like he's like really rough and angry all the time, but he has a soft side or whatever and everything. And then one of the friends revealed, but they were speaking in Turkish when they say this, asked Bearcon, does Laura know about your secret, basically? And they started talking in Turkey, so like, no, and he's like, no, I'm not ready to tell her. Now what we were wondering, because Bearcon has all that depth and everything, and somehow he's making money one way or the other on things. Now he has a questionable past, and now it's revealed how he's making his money, which is causing him to have a little bit more debt. He's a big gambler. He gambles. And gambling addiction is not good. And I guess he makes his money by doing gambling. But my thing is, when you gamble, you don't always win. So the more you gamble, the more you put yourself more in debt. So he has a gambling problem, and nobody told Laura that. Nobody translated that for Laura. He wants to tell her herself and everything. So yeah, so that's Bearcon's biggest secret, that he's a big gambler, and that is 100% not healthy. Not healthy at all. It's okay, it's okay to go to the go to a casino and play the slot machines and everything. That's okay. People do that. I know plenty of people that do that all the time. Going to the slot machines and trying to win a couple extra dollars. I'm fine with that. But when you have a gambling addiction, it's bad. And it's not just slot machines. You are like gambling with a lot of other things. And if his gambling is as big as I think it is, he probably has put himself in way more debt than that $50K that he told Laura about. So it's gonna all blow up really soon. So yeah, but that was Laura and BearCon. Next couple I want to talk is Rick and Trisha. So Rick and Trisha, they're on that little pretty beach in Madagascar and everything. Um, they decide to have a conversation about kids. Trisha said that she doesn't know she really wants to be a stepmom all her life. She wants to be a biological mom and everything. And Rick, he already has multiple kids, and with their age gap, basically, um, he wants to have, like, he doesn't want to have any more kids, but she does. So now they're arguing about that and everything. He's just like, I'm 52. I already have multiple kids. I don't know if I'm ready to, like, start all over and be a father again. Which I don't blame him, but that's the price you pay for going after a girl young enough to be your daughter, Rick. Just saying. So while they're on the beach, they scroll past like this person who has like a big bucket of fish and a fire going and everything. They Trisha said that in Madagascar, there's a lot of people that like do that, make barbecue like on the beach and stuff and everything. And she really wanted Rick to try some, but he didn't. He didn't really feel like trying anything and whatnot. Um, last week we were really irritated with Rick after how he flipped out on just asking her when she asked him to buy her a bathing suit and everything. It was just that really irritated me last week. So they had another conversation because after they get back from this little vacation, they got to go back to Trisha's hometown, and they're going to be meeting more of her family and stuff and everything, and her dad, and her Trisha has not told her dad hardly anything about Rick. She has not told Rick that he is old enough to be her dad, and that he is already a father and he has been married multiple times already. Because I guess he's really old fashioned and doesn't want Trisha to be with a guy like that, which I don't blame him. Just saying, I don't blame him because this is kind of he's gonna see this as creepy like the rest of us do, basically, and everything. So, so like normally I would be irritated at Trisha for not saying nothing, but I don't blame him, and they're trying to get a little blessing from that and everything, and now Rick is just like it's just added pressure for me with her and everything. And Trisha said that there's still some things that he doesn't know, so now Trisha has a secret. And judging by the previews of next week, Rick is finally going to reveal the secret about his ex going to see his ex in Colombia, and I cannot wait to see that. I cannot wait to see that. But now I'm wondering what Trisha is hiding. So I in this relationship is terrible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like they all both of them playing games, in my opinion. And it's funny to watch right now, but feelings are feelings are real here, and yeah, I think they're both playing games. That's just my opinion. So yeah, but that was Rick and Trisha. Next couple I want to talk is my other favorite couple, Javon and Annalyn. Now you already know Annalyn's my girl, and I have a soft spot for her. But I'm starting to see. Okay, so they're still on Javon and Annalyn are still on their honeymoon. And they had that argument 2 weeks ago about Annalyn messaging his sister all the time and everything. And so they wake up at their little resort where they're staying at, and Javon's sitting outside. Annalyn's just straightening up her part of the bedroom and everything. And Javon goes in and talks to Annalyn. He's frustrated that she didn't make his side, that she only made her side of the bed and not his. Whatever. She goes in and brushes her teeth, and he was just like, and she was just like, Are you gonna brush your teeth, or are you just gonna look at me?" And so Javon apologizes on how of the timing and the place about that argument and everything, and just wants a fresh start of the day, basically. And so Annalyn agreed to do that, but she still has um she still has trust issues, basically. So, but they put that aside for now, and then they go like on this like little like paddle. I wouldn't call it like a paddle boat, like a bike ride in the ocean, basically, and everything. And they had like a little date out, and it looked pretty cool, looked pretty fun, and they looked like they were enjoying their day. After they were done with that, they decided to have a conversation about what happened. And Annalyn is upset that Jovan was reaching out to that girl when they were having a lot of marital problems, basically. And so Annalyn had asked Jovan if she could see his phone to prove that if he's talking to her or not. And he gives her phone. He's looking nervous. She goes through the phone, and there is nothing. All she sees is pictures of his dog and her, basically. And she was like, I was so certain I was gonna find something and everything, but I did not find nothing, just pictures of me and his dog. And Giovanna's like, do you trust me now? And she's like, it's still not 100% and everything, but he was like, I keep passing your tests and everything. She's like, yeah, for now, basically. So after that, Javon and Annalyn go and have like a little, like, go to this place where they make like these unique desserts. And they go make some desserts where you got to mix them all together. There was jello, there was ice cream, and there was cheese and corn. And jello, ice cream, and cheese and corn had to be all mixed together or something, whatever. And in Annalyn's culture in the Philippines, that's normal and that's pretty good for her. But Javon was just like, the cheese and the corn don't really mix. And yeah, he's right. The cheese and the corn don't mix, especially mixing it with ice cream and jello and everything. I don't get it, but if that's their delicacy, who are we to judge? So after they tried that, Jovan was just looking like, had that look, he's just tired and just had that look of disgust. And Annalyn like called him out, just like, are you like not happy? Like, you just have that look on your face and everything. And Jovan was saying, I work, I'm tired, this and that and everything. I'm trying to provide for you. And Annalyn is frustrated because like he's not showing her. She likes to have the words of affirmation, and I'm the same way. She wants him to tell her how beautiful she is all the time, and be all lovey dovey and everything. And he's just not like that. And he's bringing up the fact that he's like the provider. He's like, I'm working and everything, and try like really want to take care of you and stuff and everything. And then, Annalyn starts crying, and she's just like, you always like to throw that back in my face. You know what? I don't need nothing from you anymore, basically. And I said this before, they're really up and down. Javon is feeling like nothing he does or says is good enough right now and everything. And Annalyn, I love you, but come on. She said that she needs to cut him some slack, so keep cutting him some slack. Cut him some slack, girl. We'll talk if we need. We'll talk about this if need be. And I'm sure, and I don't say this often, but there's a lot of editing that goes into like with all these couples, basically, and well, with all these shows. There's a lot of editing. They're filming for hours, and we only get to see like 10 to 15 minute snippets of what they're doing and everything. So I'm sure there's more to it that we're not seeing, and that there's probably a bad edit and everything. But how we do over here. We do call it as we see it. So, I've said this before, they are too up and down. And I really, as a couple, as a married couple, I don't really know what to really make of them so far. Because one minute they're down, one minute they're up, but I'm pulling for them. They are married, and I really want them to work, but right now both of them are just very inconsistent. So, they're gonna keep arguing about that. So we'll see how that all plays out. So yeah, that was Javon and Annalyn. Next couple I want to talk is Lisa and Daniel. Oh, lordy. Oh my God, Lisa. So remember what happened last week, and a couple little things I forgot to mention last week. I forgot to mention after they had that big fight in the bar about Lisa trying to pronounce that palm wine like my uncle or something like that, and he flipped out and she went to go and vape and everything. He didn't like the fact that she vapes basically. I'm not a yeah. I mean, I guess like vaping is just as bad as cigarettes. I mean, cigarettes are worse, but it's not attractive when people vape like in front of like just random and stuff. I guess like it's more legal than just regular smoking, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. Don't come for me, but to the people who do vape, I apologize. I'm not offending people who do. It's just I'm not a smoker at all, so I'm just not a fan into that. But in this episode, they have to get the blessing from the uncle now in order for them to get married and everything. So we seen Lisa and Daniel he's trying to tie Lisa's little African attire, her headband on and everything, having issues with that. And, they get it going and they go and meet the uncle. The uncle, as they come in, the uncle makes them kneel. He was like, kneel right here. What's wrong with you? Don't you know this culture? And he was talking to Daniel, not Lisa. So after they kneel and everything, he says hi to Lisa and asks her and says that you're not an Igbo woman. So tell me more about yourself. Lisa is so nervous. She was so nervous. It felt like this scene really felt like an interrogation. Like she was like a police officer was interrogating her. Like he was asking her, what do you do? And everything. And Lisa's like, I'm a Native American uncle. My parents put me up adoption when I was young, and this and that and everything. And then he asked her, are you a practicing Christian? And she's like, yeah, I am a practicing Christian. I've not always done the right things, but I am trying. And then he asked her, do you smoke? He's like, no, I used to smoke, but I quit. He asked her, do you drink? She's like, yes, I do drink, but not that much, very little. And everything. And then here was the big question. He asked her, do you practice lesbianism? And she just looked like, really? You're going to ask that? Because in their culture, it's an aberration or whatever and everything. And Lisa says, I'm me, I know it's sad that they think that here, but she's me. Which, okay, and I agree with Lisa with that. That's her and everything. Now, the uncle said that Daniel told her about the fling that Lisa had and everything. But Lisa has still not revealed that she is still legally married to a woman and that she's been a lesbian for the last 20 years and stuff. So in order to get the blessing for the marriage, for this marriage, she had to tell Uncle the truth. And the only thing she said was, yes, I had a fling with a woman, but that was in the past. I'm not, and he asked her, are you doing it now? And she's like, no. And so after all of that, he gave them the blessing. He did little blessing rituals and whatever. Lisa is lying. She's still lying. You are doing a blessing and praying to the gods and everything, like in their culture, and you are lying. It's like lying in church. Like you are lying. That was the perfect time and opportunity for you to come clean about you still being married to a woman and that you've been with women for the last 20 years and everything. She is a big liar. She lied to her daughter. She's lying to Daniel. She lied to Uncle. What in the world is wrong with this Lisa person? And then she's gonna be mad at Daniel. And she's gonna tell Daniel, why'd you tell Uncle about that flame? That wasn't supposed to be for anybody else to tell. That was between you and me. Well, Daniel was like, well, I told my uncle everything. He's like, certain things, I don't care. I don't care if you tell the Pope. I don't care if it's the Pope. You don't tell him stuff like that. That's between me and you and everything. So she's flipping out on Daniel on that. But I don't understand why she's so mad. She's the one who's lying. And that would have been the perfect opportunity for her to come clean, but she refused. Whatever. So that was Lisa and Daniel. And the final couple we're gonna talk is freaking Forrest and Sheena. It all makes sense now. Mother Molly was right. Mother Molly was right. Sheena is a liar. Sheena is a liar. So last week, Forrest gets to meet Sheena's dad and sister and everything. The mom is sick, so they're not meeting the mom. And they go to their house, and it's a really nice house. We were expecting Rose and Sheila type living, and it is a really one of the nicest places in the Philippines I've ever seen on this show that they stay at, because they also host like a little bed and breakfast there as well, business there as well. Like, what the heck? So I said last week, somebody is lying. Now, last week, Forrest did get the blessing, but whoop-de-doo, we got bigger fish to fry. So this episode, Forrest had a conversation off camera with Sheena, and he said, like, Sheena, like, you can't be lying to me like this and everything. And she was very nonchalant about it, like making it out like it was nothing and stuff and everything. So in this episode, Forrest's mom, Molly, and his stepdad, Dev, come to Sheena's house to meet the family. And they take her around, and Molly sees the place and like, yeah, something's not right here. Something is clearly not right. So later they decide they have a dinner, and the truth is finally revealed. Molly had asked Sheena's dad and about, told him, was like, okay, so Sheena has told us that she has been giving you guys money, and she said that if you guys don't give her money, you guys are mean to her, threatening to kick her out, this and that. And the dad was like, wait, what? You really told them that? And Sheena starts crying. And the truth is that Sheena lied about that. The father said he has never mistreated his children at all. The money that Sheena does give, like, they have it saved, and they're going to be giving it back to her in the near future. Sheena starts crying and said, I'm sorry, I lied to everybody. I didn't want to hurt Forrest. The truth is, I have a hard time saving money. I just have a hard time saving money, and I didn't want to hurt Forrest's feelings and everything and whatnot. And we're just like, okay, but why would you make up a lie that your parents sound so horrible and everything? Like that's and the parents said that, this hurts. This is the first impression on Molly and Dev they have on us. And this is not a good first impressions on either side, because hearing all this hurts. And I see their point. This hurts. She lied on her own parents to say how terrible that they were on what they do things, and they don't do that. They did say that Sheena does want to come to America and does want to come on a visa and try to make a living here and everything, but they also feel that Forrest needs to be more of a provider, because remember, Forrest had said that he's on Social Security or disability at home and everything, getting a Social Security disability check or whatever and everything. So we have all this on Sheena, but Forrest needs to also provide too. But now it's just like, I don't know. Both of them need to really step up their game. And Forrest like yelled at Sheena. She's like, Sheena, you're ruining this perfect relationship that we got with your lies. The lies are going to stop now, basically. And he's like, yeah. She's like, I'm sorry. I just got to do a better job of managing my money and everything. Okay, that's fine, but it's not even about like what you're doing. It's just the fact that you're lying and everything. And I was really hard on Molly throughout the whole season about her lying and stuff and everything. But Molly was right. She was right. So I don't know. Just something. So yeah, I knew something when we seen that place last week. We knew somebody was lying, and it was Sheena. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Molly said that she's glad that Sheena finally told the truth, but you know she's scared that Forrest is gonna still get like wrapped up into this again. And I'm just like, wow, well, I expected better from Sheena. I really did. I really did. So, but we'll see how it all plays out. So yeah, but that was basically it, guys. We did not see Emma and Zia or Aviva and Stig in this episode, and we still haven't met Elise yet. I can't wait to see Elise and her storyline later in the season. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah. And next week, I can't wait for, as I said, with Rick and Trisha. I cannot wait to see what happens with Rick and Trisha when he tells her the truth about the ex. Everybody's going to be on the edge of their seats watching that. But anyway, guys, that is all the couples. That is the end of my review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Please make sure you are subscribed because YouTube has been unsubscribing people and stuff with a lot of content creators' page. So please make sure you are still subscribed. I'll be back on tomorrow and Tuesday to recap the tell-all for The Other Way. American Idol premieres tomorrow, so I'm going to be watching American Idol during the same time The Other Way is on. So American Idol overrides 90 Day Fiancé. I don't cover it on the channel, but American Idol is my #1 favorite show, and it starts on Monday night. So so yeah, that overrides 90 Day, but I'll still be back to cover the tell-all. And yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much, and I'll see y'all again soon. Love you guys. Go Patriots. Bye, y'all.